There's a brutal truth being ignored right now in boardrooms, pitch meetings, and strategy calls everywhere. You are sitting on opportunities that could explode your business, your startup, your fund, but the key talent you need, they are disappearing. Growth engineers, the people who actually move the needle. And here's the thing, it's not just about hiring smart folks. It's about finding the kind of people who see growth not as a number, but as a relentless obsession. These engineers don't just write code or optimize funnels, they dismantle the entire system that's holding you back, piece by piece. But why are they the most hunted, the most fought over talent today? Because growth engineering is the secret weapon everybody pretends to want, but almost nobody truly understands. Think about the frustration of launching something new, pouring money in, and watching results stagnate. Imagine the gnawing anger when you see competitors rocket ahead with what looks like half the budget and a fraction of your effort. What's really happening? The world screams freedom, opportunity, innovation, but it's a giant lie. The truth is buried in walls of outdated processes, fake metrics, and talent shortages. You cannot scale if you can't engineer growth at a molecular level. Growth engineers are the ones who crack the code, who refuse to accept the mediocre, who are wired to rip apart assumptions about what's possible and rebuild it from the ground up. It's not enough to have data scientists or traditional marketers. Growth engineers marry engineering with product sense with ruthless iteration. They can A/B test the hell out of a funnel, sure, but they also rewrite the way your entire product delivers value so customers can't help but stick and buy again. And here's the ugly, maddening part. They almost never want to walk into places that treat growth like a checkbox or a nice-to-have. They demand ownership. They want to build systems, not hacks. They want to push boundaries, not follow playbooks. So here's a demand you'll want to scream at. Stop wasting energy on surface-level hires who claim to do growth but actually deliver noise. Growth engineers are the oxygen your business is suffocating on right now. They solve problems you don't even know exist because they see underneath the obvious. Their superpower is spotting where your funnel leaks before your CFO melts down, where your churn is silently bleeding cash, where your product's magic is slipping away unnoticed. They don't come cheap, and they don't just show up, they transform. Yet, the system that should be nurturing them is broken. Broken because it prefers safe bets over rule breakers, comfort over challenge. That's why these engineers are rare. And when they join your team, guess what happens? Growth stops being a prayer and becomes a plan. Listen closely now. If you want to attract these forces of nature, you cannot approach this like hiring for any other role. You have to build a culture that feels like electricity to them. That means obsess less about CVS, titles, or degrees, and more about what fuels their relentless hunger. What problems burn in their mind when they sleep? What frustrations keep them up? Create an environment where failure is just a step toward the breakthrough they crave, where fast iterations are sacred and politics are forgotten words. Give them the freedom to tear apart your product, rebuild messaging, relaunch experiments every day if needed. If you cage them with bureaucracy, they will suffocate or escape. Here's a brutal truth not many say. If your strategy meetings are full of cheerleading and ego-stroking, you won't keep a growth engineer for long. They want warriors, not yes people. They are here to fight the comfort that kills progress. They want leaders who can handle the messy, ugly truth of growth, the constant pressure, the relentless data chasing, the pain of pivoting when everything seems to slip through your fingers. That's the world they live in, and if you think growth is a VIP lounge inside your office, guess what? They will laugh in your face and walk out. But what if you do this the right way? What if you truly unleash these engineers? Here comes the fire. You stop guessing. You start owning every step of your funnel like a battle plan. They make every channel, every user touchpoint, every product feature a weapon of exponential growth. They engineer feedback loops so tight, your product evolves faster than your competitors can blink. They bring science and grit to the game where others offer guesswork and hype. Your conversion rates don't inch up, they skyrocket exponentially. You cut churn by half or more simply because the system they build wins loyalty, not just attention. When rare talent like this joins your tribe, You don't just scale, you dominate. Now, how do you find these mythic growth engineers? It's about more than job boards and LinkedIn. You make yourself irresistible by becoming a place where brilliance wants to collide and create. Start by killing off the fakes. Ditch job descriptions full of fluffy buzzwords and demands that only a robot could love. Craft challenges that scream, "Are you ready to tear down what you think you know and rebuild it better?" Give candidates real projects, real headaches, real messes to fix. Those who hesitate aren't the ones you want, and when you find them, you worship their process, not their past. You fuel their fire with data freedom, crazy experiments, no strings attached intellectual safety. That's how you hold their attention, their loyalty, their insanely rare talent. Don't be fooled, this is a fight. Growth engineers are scarce, and the world wants to keep them chained to tedious gigs or trap them under meaningless titles. But you can be different. You can dare to build a freakishly powerful growth machine nobody else has. You can unlock potential you didn't know existed inside your product and your team. But you have to see this as a war against complacency, a war against system-built mediocrity. You don't want just talent. You want revolutionaries who breathe growth, who live in data and fire, who don't settle for average. So here's the order. Stop searching for talent in the usual places. Stop settling for conventional hires that play it safe. Start creating a culture where boldness, smart obsession, and fast failure are sacred. Find these growth engineers by building a challenge so intense only the relentless will survive, and then give them the freedom to rewrite your future. Tear down the old way of thinking about growth and engineer your business to explode beyond limits you never thought possible. Because growth engineers don't just work for your company, they become the heart of your unstoppable growth engine. Embrace them, or watch someone else's startup take your place, fueled by the very talents you failed to unleash.